Jeremy Pruitt's Monday press conference. Coach will starts off with an opening statement. Please raise your hands for questions.
You know, going back and reviewing the film, there was a lot of good in the game. There was a lot of things that we need to improve on. Start with offensively. You know, I felt like our offensive line, especially the interior guys, done a really nice job in the game, kind of controlling some dominant football players. There's some really good players there with South Carolina. I felt like our guys gave our quarterbacks a pretty clean pocket to have some success there, and done a nice job. We had some injuries in the offensive line. We had to play some guys that didn't know if they were going to be able to play before the game. I thought we had a lot of guys that kind of stepped up there, played multiple quarterbacks. You know, I felt like both guys really done a nice job pushing the ball down the field, didn't really press, didn't try to do something that they didn't have to do, kind of took what the other team gave us. You know, wide receivers, our guys went up and made some plays, and you know, at tight end position, Dom and Austin continue to do a nice job in there. So, you know, but if you look at offensively, some things that, you know, disappointed in the game. You know, we had the ball fourth down at the 1 yard line. We didn't get a touchdown. We had an opportunity there before the half. Excuse me, not before the half. In the first half, the ball backed up in our own, close in our own goal line there, and we got 2 penalties, which didn't allow us to make a first down. Gave South Carolina really good field position, and then we had a chance there at the very end of the game, kind of in 4 minutes, to run the game out there, and we got another penalty there that put us behind the sticks. So there's lots of things that we need to clean up. We didn't run the ball as effectively as we probably need to. Some of that has to do with getting the right mic points, which starts at the quarterback position, and making sure that we're glued together with the wide receivers. So we've got to do a much better job there. Defensively, when you watch the tape, didn't play very well at all in the first half. You know, so there's going to be lots of lessons that we need to learn from this. You know, didn't get a whole lot of pass rush up the middle. Didn't strike the blockers the way we need to strike. Had way too many mental errors. In the secondary, didn't handle formation into the boundary a couple of times there, or orbit motions or rocket motions, but made some adjustments at halftime. I felt like our players responded and played a little better in the second half, played much better in the second half, but we can't start a game that way. And unfortunately we did. Special teams wise, you know, we had the one kickoff there that we pinned them back there, got a little bit of momentum. Wasn't nothing in the kickoff return. We blocked a punt, returned a punt. Anytime you score in special teams is a huge deal, and we scored twice. You know, so when you look at the game, there's lots of positives in the game, probably more so than any game that we've had, but we still have a long ways to go to play at our best, and that's our goal, and we're a long ways from that. Got some guys that are banged up. We've been in some physical games the last several weeks, and got to get some guys well this week. And you know, we're playing a UAB team that I personally know a whole lot about, starting with their head football coach and lots of the guys on their staff. Everybody on their staff, you know, I know all of them. They're all really good football coaches. Some of them I've had an opportunity to work with over the years. Some of them I've actually had a chance to coach. So they're doing a fantastic job. You look at them; they got one of the best defenses in the country, statistically. You know, putting pressure on the quarterback. I think there's 26 sacks. Not allowing a whole lot of points. A lot of pressure. Just really sound, good hard-nosed football offensively. Guys take care of the football, create explosive plays, got really good wide receivers. Wide receivers as a group, they look like SEC wide receivers, probably as good as any group that we've seen. So we got a tremendous challenge this week. Our guys have got to get in here, get focused. We got to find a way to play our best football on Saturday night, and that's what we're going to focus on this week.
Patrick and Rob and David.
Jeremy, on Vituli's block punt, it looked like y'all still had the defense on the field there in case they went for it on fourth down. What was the plan there, and is that pretty rare to get a block punt when you have the defense on the field?
Well, we were in punt safe. We did have Batuli firing on that, and they didn't block him. So it's if they don't block you, it's not unusual. It's happened before. Okay, I've coached on a team and seen it happen where we gave up a block punt because they were in punt safe. They're going to rush 4 guys, and somebody relaxes, thinks they're not going to rush, and the guy runs back there and blocks the kick. In fact, when the last time that happened, Bill Clark was the coach on the other team in the 2006 state championship game, and we end up losing the game by 1 score. It's funny how you don't forget that stuff. But no, I've seen it happen, and it happened Saturday. So we had guys. Greg Emerson got good push in there. Aubrey Solomon done what he was supposed to do. They had enough guys to block us, but somebody made a mistake.
Coach, what does it say about Coach Cheney's plan last week? You mentioned the injuries on the offensive line. You played 2 quarterbacks who had very little experience with those 351 yards and 2 touchdowns. What was kind of the key to making that happen?
Well, Jared's got a lot of experience. JT, not so much. I thought Jared played his best game of the year. I mean, the throw that he made to JaJuan Jennings, there in the end zone, he made a great check, slid to protection. We didn't have enough to block him. He drifted away from the protection to buy himself some time, stood in the pocket, delivers a ball. As good a pass as you'll see. That's the Jared that I had seen in practice most of the year, okay? And it's good that it showed up, So he really done a nice job, made some really good throws, handled the run game, handled the team. It was good to see. And now he needs to build off of it. He's got to do it again. Got to have the same prep this week and get ready to do it again. I thought JT, for a guy that's not played in many games, got better as the game went. Kind of kept his poise, was coachable during the game. So I think Coach Cheney, Coach Winkie, Coach Martin, Needlemeyer, Coach Friend, Coach Johnson, all those guys done a fantastic job with our offense this week. We played 3 quarterbacks in the game, and to find a way to move the football against a good defense, we didn't. I know we scored 2 special teams touchdowns, but moved the ball effectively for most of the game. So that was good to see.
David, then Brent, and Steve.
Jeremy, what did you guys learn about Brian on the visit to Nashville last week, and what do you expect from him this week?
Brian, he's going to go out there and start practicing this week, so we'll see where he's at the end of the week, but he's ready to go.
As a follow-up to that, where are you with Jared, and do you expect him to be ready? And then secondly, how do you make sure your team does get the focus back? Because they had some success on Saturday. I'm sure everybody's told in the last 48 hours how well they've done. How do you make sure that they keep the edge they played with the last 2 or 3 weeks?
Well, to start with Jared, I just saw him. He's up here watching film, so I'm sure he'll be limited for a day or 2 here, and he's got to take mental reps, and he'll do that. So he's in here watching film. He'll be ready to go unless something happens that I don't know about. And as far as, we got 4 games left. Man, we worked really hard to get an opportunity to do this. I don't know why anybody would not take advantage of the opportunity. As much time and effort you put into something that you love to do, be shame on us not to be ready to play on Saturday against a really good football team, and a great opportunity for us to continue to improve as a football team. We haven't done anything yet, so we've got to continue to work hard, learn how to sustain, and do it for multiple weeks at a time, you know. So nowhere close to that. We learned how to finish one game. We need to learn how to finish 2 games.
Stephen and Blake.
Obviously, when you got this job, Juan wasn't even technically part of the team yet. I'm just wondering, what were those initial conversations with him like? What was said, and when did you start to realize he could be the team leader that he's become, that he had those kind of leadership skills?
Well, it's interesting, you know, most of the I didn't know anything about JaJuan Jennings. I knew him as a, you know, opposing player on another team. When I got the job, there was some details about what all happened here, and you know, I asked a lot of people in the building what they thought, and most of them that said, you know, I wouldn't let him come back, they don't work here anymore. You know, the people that said let him come back, they all work here. You know, when you start talking to the players that played on the team, the Trey Smiths, the Daniel Batulis, and they say, "Nah, coach, we want this guy on our team." You know, so I knew enough about those guys in recruiting to know that they knew what was right and what was wrong. And then we gave him an opportunity. We set out some things there that we required him to do, and he's done everything that we've asked him to do. Everything that we've asked him to do. And, you know, it goes to show you that when you get second chances, sometimes people make the most of them, and JaJuan Jennings has made the most of his chances here this second time around. I said it after the game. He's going to graduate in December, so good for him. He's had a great senior year. I know he wants to finish it on a positive note, and he's going to leave his mark at the University of Tennessee, not only as a football player, but as a person with character, who's a leader, and has given his all for the University of Tennessee.
Blake, then Vince and Gene.
Jeremy, 2 questions. One, I was wondering if you had any update on Darrell Taylor and Darnell Wright after they exited Saturday. And then 2, could you tell us about your trip to Gus's Saturday?
My trip where?
There was a video circulating.
Oh, to Gus's? Yeah. Oh. Well, Darnell has an ankle. I think that was obvious to everybody when he come off the field there. He'll be day to day. You know, we'll see where he's at. And who was the other one? Darrell had pretty good contusion there on his knee. He's another guy that'll be day to day. And your last question, I had it last night. Austin asked me this: is I'm leaving here. My wife asked me to stop and get her something to eat. So at 11:30, there's not a whole lot of spots, but so I got her some French fries.
Vince?
Coach, can you talk a little bit more about Bill Clark and, you know, everything that he went through at that program, being a coach of a program that was shut down and trying to rebuild it? It's been about that.
Yeah, you know, I'm not really familiar with the whole process, what all took place there, but you know, Bill was coaching at Piedmont High School when I was playing at Plainview. So for my dad, so this goes all the way back to late '80s, early '90s, right? So I've known Bill and Bill's father, who was a high school football coach at Ohatchee High School in North Alabama there. For a long time. Our fathers are high school, or mine still is high school football coach. So Bill was a defensive coordinator at Hoover at one time, and you know, before he got the Prattville job. And so we played each other along the way, have known each other. We never worked together, but have obviously been friends over the years. Very familiar with a lot of guys on his staff. Have a tremendous amount of respect for what he's done throughout the years. His teams have always been very well coached, hard-nosed. You know, that first thing they say in there, you know, from the offensive side, man, these guys play hard. Yeah, they're going to play hard. All his teams do. So, you know, it just the guy's done a fantastic job at UAB. You know, where there's not ever been a whole lot of success there, and he's done a really nice job. Wins a conference last year. You know, got one loss this year. They got a really good football team. Done a nice job in recruiting. Got the guys playing extremely hard. So we've got to be at our best on Saturday night.
Gene and then Jesse.
Jeremy, to kind of follow up on the JaJuan question earlier, how much did the opinions of guys like Trace and have they had a negative reaction to your questions? Would that have affected like your final decision as to whether or not he got an opportunity, that second opportunity?
Well, there was a I guess you might call a trial period there, you know, that we worked through with JaJuan, and again, he done everything we asked him to do. To me, that's old news, you know. You know, the news now is what a leader, you know, what an ambassador he's been for the university. You know, he's getting his degree. Guys, I mean, talking about passion that he plays with on Saturdays, the toughness, you know, and I've seen it every day at practice. I mean, it's what y'all see on Saturdays is what we see every day. So we need a team full of JaJuans, you know, and he's helped shaping a lot of other guys on our football team, okay, by how he goes about his business, how he competes, because it's contagious, you know. So it's great having him here, and I'm thankful that I've had a chance to coach him for the last 2 years.
Jesse, then Rick.
Jeremy, with Brian back in practice, you know, Stroud, I've got a lot of first team reps a week ago. What's kind of the early week plan in terms of how do you kind of manage the reps for all three of these quarterbacks this week?
Well, it's easy today. Jarrett's not going to be able to practice. You know, probably be tomorrow before he jumps back out there. So we'll have 2 guys today. So we'll have to see as we move through the week here and get a good idea exactly what we want to do. We might play all 3 of them. We might just run them in and out. You know, Coach Spurrier used to do that. So just run the plays in there. We won't have to signal. We can do like we did back when, you know, I played for my dad. You know, he whispers the play. You run out there, whisper it to the quarterback. We break the huddle. I kind of like that. So we might play them all that way.
Coach, if you will, talk about the work that your staff has done as the season has progressed to get the guys playing with that passion and playing the way they are at this point.
Well, I think it says a lot about our assistant coaches, the time and effort that they've put in, their relationships, okay, because somewhere along the way there has to be trust, okay. When things don't go the way you expect them to go, you get all kind of outside noise, you have all kind of clutter. I think it says a lot about our staff, about keeping their players focused, the buy-in, the belief in what we're working on, you know, so we've got to continue to do that. Our football team has continued to improve from the start of the season. You know, we've created some self-inflicting wounds along the way, okay, that's not helped us, but they've not flinched. They've stayed together, and we continue to work hard to improve, and we've got to finish the season the right way. You know, this kind of reminds me a little bit of last year, you know, some of the things that we did and got to the point here kind of in the middle of the year, and we didn't finish. So we got an opportunity this week to kind of start to learn how to finish, and starts with practice today. Our guys they will, because they've done it all year. We got to get ready to have high energy in the meetings so we can correct the mistakes that we made, because we made plenty of them. We're still searching for that perfect game, and we have a routine we go through on Mondays and Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. We got to do it. We got to get going and know our opponent, know what we're trying to get accomplished, know why we're doing it, and create the right habits to get it done this week.
Any more questions? Thank you, Coach.